Hello Gundam fans, Tacharo speaking. This is the unboxing of the 1 to 144 scale high grade CB-0000G/Z Reborns Gundam from the Gundam 00 series. This is a redo of my old unboxing actually. I'm redoing it in a higher quality format with a better zoom, so you'll be able to really appreciate the details. So let's just get started. Here we see the box art of the Reborn Gundam, very dynamically posed with its knee double bend, its high energy beam saber, and its rifle out, and its two Jian fangs coming out at you. Over here we see the Reborn's cannon, ready to fire, where you can kind of see the back of the Reborn Gundam. You know, how it's folded up and how the transferation works. So this is, of course, from the Gundam 00 line. It was made in 2009. It is a Bandai kit, and it was illustrated by Naochika Morishita, I think it's pronounced. This is a high grade 00, of course. And here we see the title, or yeah, the logo. This is number 53 in the series. And we see the Reborns Gundam in the same pose. On the other side, we get the same pose, but now we get the yen amount, 1,800 yen, which is a pretty. I think that was a little bit higher than usual back then, but this was a kit that had practically two mobile suits in one, and was really exceeded the high grade standards of back then. On the bottom of the box we have the Reborns Gundam. It shows you that you can pull out the beam sabers, the arms and the joints in the arms. Here you see how it transforms to the Jian cannon, how the legs expand, and how the feet can flatten from a high heel mode. Here you see the Reborn's cannon ready to fire. Action. Here we see that it has a very good ankle joint, a good double joint on the leg, and an expanding shield gimmick, along with very posable large Jian fangs. Here you see the Reborn's Gundam. Kind of like all the features, how it has a inner chest joint, the large Jian fangs can detach, the Jian cannon can the rifle can switch around, kind of like the Jian Sword 3. Here you see the details, and here you see an unpainted model where we notice that the beam saber is completely clear, along with the chest jewel, and it's kind of plain, not being lined. On the other side we got a front shot and a back shot, along with the information on the suit and the pilot. And here we see it is made with polystyrene, polyethylene, and again the 1,800 yen you can vaguely see there. So let's go ahead and unbox this. Let's use this as a background. Can I give me a plain background? So, when you unpack this, you get the A runner, which is right here. And this is split off because I want to do some tests, so we'll just go over that first. Here we see the clear sensor for the Jian cannon, the chest jewel, a jewel for the head, and a Jian sword where I tried to do a experiment using food coloring and for clear paint. Didn't work out too well, as you can see. Here you see the rest of the A plate, where we get three colors. White, where we see things like the head, which I think kind of looks like the Eevee from Pokemon, kind of the long ears. The shield and its details. The back of the head, front of the head. Here's the sensor for the Jian cannon. You can see the detail right there. Here you see the front skirts that aren't molded together. Here you see the back of the top of the chest, the front of the top of the chest. Here we see parts of the waist, like the front where the front skirts will go, and the back skirt, and how it has other joints. So we're going to have a posable back skirt. Here we see the mask, which is tiny. And then we get this kind of like hard-boiled egg yolk yellow color. It's like a very light yellow. Here you see parts for the shoulders, joints for the arms, the knees, which are molded below, which is actually really interesting, kind of like the ears back here, or the V-fin. Here you see a little yellow part, and here you see part for the crotch. And in the red, we get the shield with some slits for the expanding shield gimmick. We get the red parts for the GN cannon, the bottom parts of the chest, the chin, and the back of the back skirt. Here you see parts of the GN cannon, and these parts that look a lot like the GN Sword 3s or the GN Swords gimmick right there. And here you see the back skirts that are molded together, and you can see that these are not detachable, and you're gonna have to paint or mask that. Next runners are the B runners, and you are not seeing double. You get two of these runners that are exactly the same, no difference between them, and these contain parts for the legs. Why do they have, oh, odd. Parts for the legs. Here's part for the back. Yeah, I guess these are all part of the legs. A red part, circle. I'm not really sure what that does, honestly. Here's parts for the arms, the feet. You can see kind of like the high heel there. And then we get parts for the GN fang holders, large fang holders. And here's parts for the sword, for the beam swords. And here are the large GN fangs, and you can tell that we're gonna have to deal with some seams. And here is a part for the expanding shield gimmick, and it's actually rather interesting that they made it, that they molded it like this. And here's the back. You can see how they attach, and a couple of the details there. What I really like is this Y intersection. It's odd, you don't really see that much in the Gundam models. The C runner, and again, you are not seeing two. This is, you get exactly the same runner for white also, and that's where we get the GN drive, which is a lot pointier than the 00, I've noticed. Here you have the shoulders. Oh, these are like the part of the shoulder armor. This is for the hand covers, arm joint, the lower arm joints, and that's part of it. And then we get parts for the knees, the inner joint, like the mechanism, side skirts. This is the expanding gimmick for the joints, for the legs. And here is the front of the, what's it called? The front of the legs, and you can see that it is indented or it is raised up, so hopefully painting this won't be too hard. Here you see all the parts for the GN swords, and here we see the legs with a big gap. It's kind of rather odd. Next runner is the D runner, which we only get one of. I kind of feel, I bet it feels left out. And you see the big parts for the GN cannon or rifle, and these are all the joints. These are all the gray parts you get. These are for the arms, for the GN large fang holders. Here's the big cannon in the chest / thruster. Here is, let's see, joints for the arm, some ball joints right there. Oh, you cannot see that. Here we see the hands, pretty nice detail. Here we see the joints for the shoulders, the handle, where you gotta put the heads on, the waist joint, and here's the barrel, and here's the knee joints. Pretty simple, honestly. And you do get these claws for the GN, the Egner claws for the GN cannon, which is kind of interesting. We got PC-001 for our polycap set, and from looking at the runner, we use all of them, but two of these, which is really cool. But oh well, no spare parts, I guess. And you do get a kind of a sizable sticker sheet, where you get eyes, sensor for the cannon. Here is the jewel, or what will go under the jewel for the GN cannon and its forehead sensor. Here's parts for the forehead sensor of the Reborns Gundam and the chest. Here you see the parts for the chest vents and the back skirts. And here you see some black lines that will go on the, what are they called? On the side skirts and on the legs, which I'm hoping to paint. And I'm actually seeing it looks like too many of these, but maybe I'm missing a couple of them. But I guess we'll see when I build it. Then we get the 00 manual. The usual long, with the model with Photoshop, with the flying things that you can't really recreate. Here is the line art. Here we see the Reborns Gundam front and back. Then we see the Reborns cannon front and back. I swear that looks so crappy. Here's Reborns Allmark, the pilot, of course. On the back we got a color splash page with all the weapons, like the GN Buster Rifle, the large GN Saber, the GN Shield, and large GN Fin Fang, small GN Fin Fang, and the Eigner Whip. Stand this up. We got some more color, where we see how you can pair it up with the 00 Riser, which is the non-GN Sword 3 variant, you'll notice. And here you see some detail shots from the show, how it transforms, more shots from the shows, and of course the color guide, where we see clear purple and clear red, clear green, so you're gonna need a lot of colors for this. Let's see. Let's go through the instruction manual. Here we see the plates. You can see how it looks like a few, but that's because a lot of them have that ×2 on them, like these two. The parts are kind of cheap, but of course that's for Japan only. Here you build the chest, the head, the rifle, the shield, the arms, the legs, more legs, the waist, and you connect it all together. Then you make the backpack, where we get a color splash page in the assembly manual, where you build the GN, large GN Fin Fangs, the sword, and then we go through its main transforming gimmick. And a lot of twisting and pulling, and the most confusing part, I think, is right here. And here it shows you how the expanding gimmick works, how you're supposed to put it forward, and that's supposed to kind of open it up. Then it shows you they can connect it to an action base 2, and you should reconnect the shield the other way, and that you should flip this red thing and put it on there. So overall, this is quite a kit, and one that really got me excited that I actually ended up pre-ordering this kit along with my Cerevi. And as you can see, I still have not built it. But does this mean this is my next project? No. I'm kind of not taking a break, but more like I haven't been doing much building at the moment, but I will soon. So come back for my next video, which will either be an unboxing of the 00 riser condenser type, or the review of the high-grade Raphael Gundam, which is also from the movie. But till then, keep on building, my friends.